Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to my evening news report right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. Sununu, Scott unveiled paid family leave plan in joint announcement. New Hampshire and Vermont governors rolled out a plan Wednesday for a voluntary two-state paid family and medical leave program and allow private businesses and individuals to participate if they so choose. The plan, which would be merged by a private insurance rather than state agency, was announced at a joint meeting for the Republican governors at a brewery in the border town of Littleton, New Hampshire. The key to the program is the combined buying power of the 18,500 public employees in the two states, the governors said. There is a border, there is a river that separates the two of us. But at the end of the day, we are all part of the same community, New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu said. If passed by the legislature in the two states, the program would provide 60% of a person's wage for up to 6 weeks for a number of qualifying events, including the birth of a child or caring for a close relative who has a serious health condition. The two governors said they were unaware of any efforts by states to work together to provide a social program to its citizens. And if we are successful in each of our state legislature, we can establish a model and standard for the rest of the country that meets the calls for greater work life balance, Scott said. But Democrat leaders in both states were not quick to embrace the concept. There's no policy behind this. There's no legislative planning behind this. There's no actual studies. There's no stakeholder support. And there has been no effort at bipartisanship, New Hampshire Senate Majority Leader Dan Phelps said. Vermont Senate President Pro Tim Ashe, a Democrat and progressive, declined comment. The two states would cover the full cost of the program. Businesses with more than 20 employees and 100% employee participation would receive the state rate. If it is expected that small businesses with fewer than 20 employees would pay slightly higher rates, the costs for businesses that do not have 100% employee participation would pay premiums. Individuals whose employer does not offer a paid family leave plan would have the option of purchasing coverage. Sununu said that since private insurance would be used rather than state agencies, it could be set up quicker. Primarily, conversations with multiple insurance carriers have already begun. Interest is high, and primarily the costs are, to be honest, potentially shocking low, Sununu said. Scott said the established an estimated cost to Vermont would be about 2.5 million per year, which would be paid by the state. Providing paid family leave to workers in both states has been a continuous issue. Last year, the Vermont legislature passed a bill which Scott vetoed because it would have been paid for with tax that would have been deducted from workers' paychecks. In his inaugural address, Scott said he was working on a voluntary paid family leave program. A New Hampshire Republican House-led House last year passed a bill to provide up to 12 weeks of paid time off, but the bill died in the Senate after Sununu opposed it, though he argued it was financially unstable. He didn't offer a plan on his own at the time and was criticized during his re-election campaign for referring to such leave as a vacation. The idea was convened by New Hampshire officials who then presented it to their Vermont counterpartners. And that is it for my evening news report right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great evening, everyone. And I'll see you back here tomorrow with more news reports. Goodbye, everyone.